Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. While we are setting up, let me acknowledge a very special person who is there in the room. And I'll take help from Leela to acknowledge him.
Well, I couldn't just stop myself from taking this opportunity. We have Sham Malhotra. Friends, please raise your hand. He's our first MCC of our chapter.
No,
And
Leela,
it's
that was
such-
me.
Okay.
First MCC.
Is Shweta, I'm sorry, but
First
Sham
MCC.
sir, can you
It's
come
all of
here?
Northern, Northeastern.
My apologies.
So people just kind of forget I was the 6th MCC in this country.
Look
And
at
the
it.
first
Now we
MCC.
get to know about this.
But Sham has been my coach. So,
Wow.
Sham
Wow.
Malhotra,
So we've got
कुछ
such
बचा हमको पहनाने के लिए. Mine.
May I request everyone to please sit down? Please have a
One
seat.
correction, we have Shweta was the first. My apologies for not spelling out. But one of them is Sham Malhotra. Let's recognize and acknowledge.
Hi. Thank you very much for that acknowledgement. And she got it a little bit wrong, just a couple of words. Okay. Thank you. I did. The correction is that I'm one of the first MCCs, not the first MCC. Got it? Got the correction? Yes. Wonderful.
Actually, I am holding it, but you can go ahead and take the stick.
May I request everyone to please have a seat? We'll just continue and quickly finish. Okay? Everyone. Hello everyone, please have a seat.
Whenever it's
Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen, are you hearing us? Could you please take your seat so that we can start the next session with it for 20 minutes only, and after that there'll be lunch. So why don't you start, Amitabh?
As Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Today we are incredibly fortunate to have our sponsor, Threefish team, with us, whose generous support helps make this event successful. And joining us as our spotlight speaker, Anubha Khanna, Director Coaching and Development, Threefish. As Director Partnership, I, on behalf of Delhi NCR, ICF Delhi NCR chapter, would like to welcome Anubha on the stage. Please introduce Rajesh.
It's my honor to introduce someone who believes in the infinite potential of human beings. Her coaching approach helps leaders reflect deep personal insights coming from taking action and exploring possibilities with themselves. As Director Coaching and Development, she leads the coaching and leadership development practice at Threefish. Anubha brings over 2 decades of rich and multi-sectoral and multicultural HR and OD and business experience to her work with individuals and organizations. She has set up OD function in BPO, led operations of a large-scale change program, designed several leadership programs for school leaders and corporate leaders. Anubha is a PCC, a master trainer, master assessor in Hogan, systems thinking, human process facilitations. She's an MBA in human resource from KJ Somaya and philosophy, MA in philosophy and economics from Lucknow University. She's a member of Global Society of Organizational Learning and International Coaching Federation. Anubha is interested in learning about new culture and practices and is interested in reading and cooking. But above all, she's interested in traveling. And I was having a chat with her, and she said she's a very avid traveler of the inner world. Isn't that interesting, ladies and gentlemen? I give you Anubha Khanna.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Rajesh. I am, needless to say, extremely honored to be here. This is a very, very pristine event. Congratulations to the ICF chapter, Delhi NCR, and thank you for having us. I think we at Threefish are extremely honored. We are always, this is our tribe. This is one of the tribes we are part of, and you nurture us and we nurture you. At Threefish, we believe in this whole thing of tribes, and since morning we are talking communities and tribes. And so it feels like what Debashi said, and her messages have been saying as well. It's a homecoming. So that's the intention and the energy with which I'm here. As I say this as Anubha, I also bring the same message from Pradnya. Pradnya has not been here because she's in Pune. She was doing some stuff and she couldn't make it this weekend. But she sends her wishes to the chapter and all the members, and she's here in spirit. Joining me, of course, are my team members from Threefish, and they're here to be part of the celebrations as well. We've been having very interesting conversation. The previous panel was extremely touching. Getting to the core of why each one of us, in the heart of our hearts, is probably in this profession, right? Being the humans that we are. And I think that's something that resonates most with me in everything that's been happening today since morning. So I'm feeling privileged, and I know I'm going to keep you away from lunch for at least the next 15-20 minutes. But they say who you are is how you lead, right? That's what Hogan's all about, and that's the foundational statement there. And who I am, right? I'll try and keep it brief, and I'll sort of talk to you a little bit about why and what is the value of using personality in coaching. A little bit Rajesh talked about me, but my story really is as a coach. Again, I got into coaching many, many years ago, very informally inside of organizations, not knowing that I was coaching, yeah? And, but again, leading from who I am, right? My heart and my spirit, and it took me places. I left the corporate, went and worked with public sector leaders, coached school leaders, government leaders, coached young professionals who we called fellows. Did that for a long time, and I realized that there was something that I was doing that had a lot of energy and spirit, but there was something missing in whatever I was doing. And at that point, the realization or the reflection came is that I needed to bring more reliable science, practice, and frameworks to whatever I was doing. And that's what got me to come back, in a way, to this space. I feel fortunate to have encountered Hogan. Of course, Dr. Pradnya and I know each other for a very long time, and so fortunate that she invited me into the journey, though we wanted to do OD. And along the way, coaching happened. I think just the intention I created after the second phase of my career in working with, public sector leaders, to saying, I want to bring the best in the world, most scientific, reliable work to leadership, which has been my area of work all along. And in this little tiny presentation, what I want to sort of share with you is that in my work in the last 8-9 years at Threefish, one of the things that I've learned and I've sort of contributed back into the community, and I work in the corporate community. I do a little bit of work outside. I work with schools even now, and some doctors, is helping uh, become self-aware. And that is one of the core things we help our, whoever we coach do. Um, Making that awareness based on data has really helped, at least me in my experience, guide in a more confident and a reliable way insights for people. Of course, with time, I'm also realizing, and I've said that, assessments give us a good base. And once you know you're standing on a good base, then you can confidently do what you need to do. And that's where really what the panel brought out, in the last half hour, resonated with me is being the human that you are and connecting with the other human, being of service, and having those conversations can yield and can lead to uncovering that potential and so possibilities for the future. But to me, that happens with a lot more confidence when I'm standing on a strong base. One of the base elements is me. So who am I, right? And how deeply am I in touch with myself? The other is also what I'm offering to my client. Not just the authentic me, but also the tools and references and frameworks that I bring in. How scientific are they? And that's sort of the backdrop to this work. We at Threefish, most of you should know us. We almost all the time part of ICF events, so I'm assuming a lot of you know us. A small team, Dr. Pradnya Parashar founded it. It was her dream. She was responsible, of course, for bringing Hogan to India. And her dream has always been, as a psychologist, to help organizations bringing the science of organizational psychology, right? And that's what she did with this organization. We are a small team, and we work with a variety of organizations, of course, master distributors for Hogan. And today I want to introduce, and there are a lot of people in the room who already know it. So I'm just a student, and if we have time and offline, absolutely engage with all the others who have been certified and who are already masters, in this area of work. But, how can personality help you in coaching? And, I'll share my thought, but really, when we think personality, what's personality? Personality is what? Behaviors, actions. It shows up in the way we drive change, we execute on work, performance, build relationships. And when we're thinking behaviors, there are really two sides to our personality, right? There is our behaviors. There is the way I see myself, and there's the way the world sees me. We all work in the world of work. And that's what makes reputation, or the way the world sees us, or our context sees us, makes it relevant, right? Going back into research, we know that there is a fair bit of research on measurement of reputation, but not a lot of efficacious research on measuring of identity, right? And here we're talking measurement, reliability, validity, and hence the value of looking at reputation, which is how others see us, which is also another way of saying what's the impact we create in the world of work, right? We know from science that a leader's personality shows in the way they lead, how they work in teams, and therefore how organizations perform. So there's a direct correlation. Just like I said, in my coaching I bring this, and what this has helped me do. I just thought I'll share an example. There's we're all coaching, and this is a slightly sort of long-term coaching that I was given some time back, and this is a leader who is getting ready to step into a CXO role. She's a technologist, and very smart leader, and you'll see her Hogans, and she's, very leader-like, very bright, very intelligent, is able to think ahead, big picture, vision, very, very driven. However, the feedback that she's been getting for a while is that when she's, she has tons of ideas, but she's unable to prioritize, and she's unable to, take one idea to closure. And that's becoming one of her, things that's coming in the way. I met her and she comes across as this really self-aware person. And, you know, just those of you in the room who understand the Hogans, and I'll talk about that a little bit, it's the assessment I use, right? You can use any personality assessment, but this is what I use in my work. And very self-aware, someone who is very happy to do work with herself, comes across as very balanced, confident, calm, you know, has a vision, all of that. But what the Hogans actually pointed me towards and helped her see herself, which she was not doing, was really that the fact that she was unable to prioritize ideas, and the fact that she was unable to plan and that she was very ad hoc, right? She had tons of things and she was not planning. That is what was coming in the way. And that's what the Hogans helped her see. And also kind of helped her see that because she was thinking so much, and you know, her mind was full of ideas and that she was so excited about them, she was not thinking about the others. And that was coming in the way for her to build a team under her that could, and so that she could step up to larger different roles. And that's what the data informed, right? And then of course there was coaching, and it starts with, like all of you all know, a development plan. What data-based insights help us do is that they give us insights on very specific actions to keep, stop, and start. And again, you know, there's no point in my reading it all, but that's what the Hogans helped do, is to keep doing work with her awareness that she has. You know, having new ideas, knowledge and all is good, but she needs to stop ideating after a while. So strategies in terms of when do I when do I stop, and how do I not constantly think and have a plan of execution, and also become aware. And I think that was probably her most important realization through the conversation, that she was so stuck in herself that she was unable to look at other people. And therefore, very quickly, she moved into saying, I want to start looking at growing and developing people. And she had then gone out and started to identify one or two people. And then the coaching sort of revolved around that. So very quickly, in the first one or two conversations, you're able to arrive at a very, very strong plan. I think that's the other thing that I see data-based insights do in coaching. Yeah? And of course, from here on, you know, who you are as a coach takes over, whatever may be your approach, whether it's performance, whatever other methodology you use, and who you are is what takes over. So really what I'm saying is, looking at personality assessments can provide you very reliable and very predictive insights. What does this help do? This helps raise awareness, which is a foundational work that we as coaches do, right? It's an ICF competency too. More importantly, it helps kind of shine light on blind spots. There may be blind spots which they are acknowledging but not looking, whatever. But it helps bring light there. And it gets very sharp and clear when it comes to providing feedback on behaviors. So a very powerful thing that a personality insight can do is steer clear of judging and bringing the focus on behavior, because that's really what creates the change. Yeah, of course it supports creating goals which are very actionable, that are driving leadership impact. In the world of work, it's really impact that matters, right? It's how I'm leading, how effective I am. And that's what a personality assessment can inform, to help behaviors to dial up, dial down, make the right choices, build those insights and integrate roles with actions. Yeah. So that's the relevance of bringing here. Now, when we present data to people, there can be one of these three things that can happen. Either it will confirm what they think of themselves, right? We are all self-aware. We've been working for so long. They'll get a confirmation. They might also think that, okay, if they were to modify what they think of themselves, there is no threat to their self-esteem. So that's also good news. But the third could be bad news. It contradicts what they think of themselves. And that's where we will hear often people saying, I don't agree. Yeah, your whatever. This assessment doesn't talk about it. So, or doesn't tell me who I am. And that can create, you know, a potential distress. Now that's an interesting, where the people first two cases where people agree, that's a good news, right? But where they disagree, that's really where our responsibility as people who are working with an assessment becomes really important. Because it's not about putting them in a box and getting them to convince that you are like this because the assessment says so. Because they are the masters of their life. At best, as a certified person in any tool, I can only say what the data says. But I'm not a master as a coach in their life, right? So there's a lot of responsibility that rests on us, and so we will say handle that with care. And that's the time where I think who you are as a coach becomes really important. Very importantly, all assessments are also in a context. And when the third thing happens, my learning is that context is king at that point in time. To talk to them and get them to saying, okay, how do those behaviors play out in their context is what can really unveil a lot of the blind spots and maybe even mindsets, challenges, issues that they may be holding in their mind. As people who use assessments in coaching, it's very important to decide that you will use or you won't use, and that whichever assessment you use is reliable and valid, and has an impact on executive coaching. We would say that strongly because, again, we come from a space of science and especially organizational psychology. We'll say whatever tool you use, any tool that does not ask you for a certification, stay away from it. Because you don't know what's the science behind it. And as people who are holders of the space, who are in service of our clients, I think that's a very important element, right? As humans that we hold for them. So get certified in whatever tool that you wish to use. Be wary of tools that don't require you to be certified. Yeah? Since I'm from Hogan, a little about Hogan. Hogan has many years of research. It's based on science. There are 3 assessments. They are based on sound academic theories. Hogan has a very, very sound research behind them, which leads to the predictiveness of what they measure. Just some numbers. They've been around for 35 years. Over 11 million people have taken assessments. It gets interpreted through only certified folks. Available in multiple languages, so it has a global appeal. And when you work with your clients who are multi-locational, it's a great tool to use. They have very sound research. It's written in journals, in research articles, books. There are various benchmark studies and job solutions available as well. So it has application in the entire talent space from an organization's perspective, from selection all the way to development. The Hogan's measure really, core values for a person and how people behave when they put their best foot forward and when they experience stress. One of the most important aspects that Hogan's research brought out was measurement of the dark side. That's the reason why organizations would choose to use Hogan, is to help people understand that there are these behaviors under stress which play out and can create ineffectiveness or come in the way of effectiveness, right? That's what it helps bring out most significantly. As a combination, it helps us look at a whole person. And again, as coaches, that's one of the elements that we're looking for when we're looking at a person, right? We're coaching a leader. We're looking at the leader as a whole. So in my experience as well, Hogan's have given me that, a comprehensive view for a leader. On the side, I do always laugh with Pradnya, who's a master, of course, and I'm a practitioner, and I tell her, I said, did Dr. Hogan know that there was a spiritual angle to what he created? And then I remind myself that maybe it's the lens I bring. But it's helped me at least go into the various elements, the 3 pods that you all were talking here on stage using this. But that's on the lighter side. But really, at the core of it, of what the message that I'm giving is, who you are is how you lead. A personality assessment can help you uncover that in the context of the individual and help build strategic self-awareness. It helps move from so what to now what, for a leader. As coaches, you're aware of this cycle is when you build awareness, you're able to help target behaviors, help create the change. And as coaches, you help make this a cyclical process so that you make them independent and that you can move on to the next person to whom you're contributing, right? And that's really the whole approach. And in the process, you help people uncover, what are some habitual patterns, mindsets, internal resistance, reasons for facing inaction, right? So, if I have to pull this all together, just one thing. If the future is what the panel talked about, which is about the generative conversations, potentialities, crystal gazing, I think a sound personality assessment is a gateway to that. It can help you open doors for those possibilities, for those conversations. And that's really how I have found, bringing a personality assessment in coaching help and support in my work. I think that's pretty good. How long did I take? 20 minutes? I hope I ran fast and I gave a good perspective. If there are any reflections from the room, we can take maybe one or two reflections, if any. I know there are tons of people here who work with the Hogan or personality assessment. But if there's a reflection, otherwise that's all I had to say. Yes, please, go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to ask the 3 points which you had. You said to apply care for the third point and then apply context. Wouldn't the first two also have context?
Always.
So if you can elaborate the care part there, like how
Yeah, absolutely. I think the care is understanding that I am not the master of their lives. They are the masters of their own, right? Even if they agree, they see it from their lens, never from mine. So as somebody who's using an assessment, I can only understand and interpret the data, right? And it's all the backdrop is really their role, their job, their environment in which they are working. And so that becomes the backdrop. So context is always the case. But it's important what I'm using. In handle with care is to know this, that I have a responsibility. Thank you for asking. All right. If there are no other questions or reflections, we can close. Is that good? All right. Thank you. And so I can step away from coming in between your lunch and networking conversations. It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you for listening in so patiently. I appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you, Anubha. And I would like to also thank you, Threefish team, especially Pradnya, whom I first called up that I need your support. And she said, we are friends. We are always there. And also, I would like to thank Indrani and her team. Please, Indrani, please come. Please come, yeah. Please come, yes. So she has been supporting during this entire conversation. So I would like to invite Debishi, our president, to felicitate both of them.
Oh my. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anubha and Indrani. And Pradna always says that, Devishi, this is a learning community. It started as a learning community. So whatever that we can do to keep it that way and learn and grow, we are always there. And thank you so much for being here and adding to it. And I'm sure that we'll stay that way. And we will. You have to come back for the celebration that we're going to have throughout the year. So thank you very much. Small token from us. Yeah. आप smile करोगे तो ठीक है. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your kindness.
Thank you. Welcome home. Thank you.
Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you so much.
And finally, some much-awaited lunch break. So we break for lunch till about 2:30.
We get back at 2:30. Is that okay? Is that okay? Lunch is right here, so you can please grab your lunch here. 2:30.
You know, this is the beautiful thing about the ICF community. We can all feel at home in each other's homes. So this feels like, you know, it's say ICF Chennai chapter happening, which turned 10 last year, but you know, I think we didn't do like a mega celebration. And I think celebration is so important in milestones like this. I want to just say one thing. I have seen the chapter ICF Delhi over several years, probably in the last decade. And from an outside-in perspective, I see a beautiful metamorphosis happening and the chapter really growing from strength to strength. And I don't see this based on your, you know, awards or accolades or things like that. Thank you, and I understand the food's important as well. So I was just saying that I've seen a beautiful metamorphosis happen over the last several years, and a couple of things that strike me from the outside: the vibrancy of the chapter. There is just so much of love that I mean, I just walked in, and I cannot tell you how good I feel, and I really mean it. I don't say things that I don't mean. And that love, that vibrancy is critical for the coaching profession, especially in the times in which we live. In addition to all of the, you know, cutting edge work, left brain stuff. So please keep that alive, my friends, because I think that's what makes communities, the warmth, the inclusion. I certainly feel so included. Sorry for just gate crashing, but I feel very included and very loved. So please keep that going. And my wish for you is that in your 10th year or soon enough, you guys will win an award. Yeah, awards are not the end point of anything, but I think it's a great milestone to celebrate. So I wish you that. And I see you poised, not just this celebration, but all your initiatives that I'm seeing over the last, I would say, two years for sure, where I've been more closely involved, Radha Khanji's team, and then now Debeshi and team. Great work. And please keep that going. Do real projects, the real stuff that happens. And of course, I would always say you guys have an additional advantage of having board chair on your chapter. And I would just say, please tap into all of that because these are great. So I know Shweta is hiding, but this is not to pull her leg. I really mean it. So all the best, my friends. And I want to just say that if any way I can be of service to this community, of any of you personally, please reach out, because I think we are far more connected than different. We may be from different parts of the country, but I think all that's in our head. So I do wish to come back here for another celebration when you are all cheering for your collective award and milestone together. Don't forget to invite me. Thank you.